Hi everybody, welcome to Genealogy, where forgotten history, buried family secrets come back to life, from abandoned towns and unsolved crimes to eerie legends and the people's history that some tried to forget or maybe has just been forgotten. We dig deeper into the surface. So grab a cup of coffee, or an energy drink in my case, and let's uncover the stories hiding behind the shadows and things that have been forgotten. From the Civil War battlefields to handwritten letters, protests, heartbreak, and betrayal, the true history of Mother's Day is far from complicated. That most people probably don't realize. All I can say is, if you have a mama, make sure to call your mama on Mother's Day. So Anna Maria Jarvis was born to Granville E. and Anne Maria Reeves Jarvis on May 1 of 1864 in Webster, Taylor County of West Virginia. Oh, I love West Virginia. The ninth of 11 children. Wow, that's a lot. But they did have a lot of children back then. 7 of her siblings died in infancy or in early childhood. That's so sad. Her birthplace today is known as the Anna Jarvis House. It has been listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Since 1979, the family moved to Grafton, West Virginia, also in Taylor County, later in her childhood. So Anna's mother was Anne Reeves Jarvis and was a social activist and a founder of Women's Day work clubs. As a woman defined by her faith, she was very active within the Andrews Methodist Episcopal Church. It was during one of her Sunday school lessons of 1876, that's a very long time ago. What, like 150 years ago? That her daughter Anna Jarvis found her inspiration for Mother's Day. And as a mother myself, this just makes my heart so happy. As Anne closed her lesson with a prayer stating, "I hope and pray that someone sometime will found a memorial Mother's Day commemorating her for the matchless service she renders to humanity in every field of her life." She is entitled to it, that's for sure. Flowers fade and cards get tucked away in drawers. Brunch reservations come and go. But the story behind Mother's Day isn't as gently as holiday feels today. It began with grief and war, and one daughter's fierce determination to honor horror and the sacrifices that mothers make long before anyone was buying the roses or the scented candles. And in a twist worthy of history dark stories, she was a woman who fought to create Mother's Day. The woman who fought to create Mother's Day would later battle every holiday she helped bring to life because it has become completely commercialized. Well, I agree with that in some sort. I think, I think it has become commercialized. You can buy a nice card, but I also think that's like a gesture of kindness to have a card that looks nice to give to your mother. But I'm sure moms would like a special handwritten note too. There is a specific kind of silence that follows the loss of a mother. It's a silence that Anna Jarvis found herself standing in during the spring of 1905. We often think of Mother's Day as bright, bustling mornings of breakfast and bed and colorful bouquets. But the modern holiday wasn't born from a celebration. It was born from grief, from a daughter's fierce, desperate need to ensure her mother's life wasn't just remembered, but understood. To understand the holiday, you have to understand the woman who inspired it. Anna Jarvis was a woman of the 19th century, a time when motherhood wasn't sentimentalized, but it was often a grueling task of everyday chores, often of tragic battles. Anne lost 7 of her children out of all 11 to diseases. And most of her children didn't even live to see their first birthday. Poor little babies. Oh my goodness. But she didn't retreat into her sorrow, which I can't imagine as a mother. She channeled it into her service, forming the Mother's Day Work Club. Now, these women weren't gathering for tea. They were on the front lines of public health, teaching families how to survive. When the Civil War broke out, they became a bridge tending to the wounds of the Union and the Confederate soldiers, providing that a mother's compassion knows no border or uniform. Now, Anna had moved to Chattanooga, Tennessee at the time to live with her brother, and then had moved to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Both really pretty places. Now, after the death of Anna's father, Granville, in 1902, she urged her mother to move to Philadelphia to stay with her and her brother, both worried about their mother's health. And Anna Jarvis ultimately agreed to move to Philadelphia in 1904. Now, Anna spent most of her time caring for her mother, and she died May 9 of 1905. When Anne had passed away, she felt the weight of her mother's legacy. She remembered a prayer her mother once had said, "I hope and pray that someone sometime will found a memorial Mother's Day commemorating her to the matchless service she renders to humanity in every field of life. She is entitled to it." And it was like such a prominent moment in history, especially in American history. So Anne knew the sacrifices she was giving to other people and was trying to convey that within her church services, and decided she would be that person. And in 1908, in a small church in Grattan, West Virginia, she held the first official service. She didn't send a gift. She sent 500 white carnations. Oh, how beautiful that must have been. Her mother's favorite flower. She chose the carnation because its petals don't just drop as it dies. They hug the center they symbolize as a mother's love, which stands folded around her child, even as life begins to fade. By 1914, Anna's relentless letter-writing campaign reached the White House to President Woodrow Wilson, and he signed it into law. For a brief moment, Anna had won. I'm sure in her heart she really celebrated her mother. She had given the world a day for remembering their mothers, a day to go home, to sit at the kitchen table, and to say the things we usually leave until it's too late. But then, the world does what the world does, and the world found a way to sell it. The white carnation, which was a symbol of pure devotion, became a commodity. Florists hiked the prices. Card companies began printing, and sometimes generic little sentiments. Now, some cards are nice. I like cards. Some of them are very nice. And that replaced the handwritten letters that Anna had once cherished with her mother. To Anna, it wasn't just commercialization. She spent the rest of her life and her entire inheritance fighting the very holiday that she had created. And by early 1940s, she was placed in a sanitarium by friends and associates, where she later died November 24 of 1948. That's very sad, very, very sad. She sat in a sanitarium alone and penniless, having never become a mother herself. Now, this is a tragic ending, but it shouldn't overshadow the truth of what she gave to all of us at Mother's Day. Because beneath the layers of the marketing and the noise of the modern everyday life, the Mother's Day that Anna had envisioned still exists today. It exists in the quiet moments of recognition for the mother who stays up until 3 a.m. checking on her babies at night, for the moms driving their kids back and forth to school, for the women who chose to mother children that she didn't give birth to, and for the daughters visiting a headstone today instead of a home. Now, Anna just wanted us to remember that motherhood isn't just a role, it's a sacrifice. And it's a sacrifice that builds a foundation for our world. It's the work that happens when nobody is watching, and the love and the memories that remain when everything else is gone. So today, look past the cards, look past the flowers. If you have a mother still today, pick up the phone, sit across the table, and offer one thing that Anna Jarvis valued above everything else, and that's your time. If you have a wonderful mother, reach out to her, share some nice words of gratitude and of thanks. Tell her now, because the history of the day reminds us that we don't have forever to say thank you. Mother's Day isn't the flowers or the cards or the crowded restaurants, but in the remembrance, a pause of recognition for the women who held their families together through hardships and through sacrifices for their families, and the quiet acts of love that history rarely records or others even see. Because long before Mother's Day became a holiday, it was a daughter's promise that mothers would never be forgotten. Well, I'm Jody Genealogy. I hope you enjoyed this little Mother's Day special that I put together. If you like stories, sometimes true crime, murder mysteries, ghost stories, legends and folklore, I love that kind of stuff too. Actually, I kind of love all history. So if you like this kind of thing, make sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment, and have a wonderful day. And whether you're a mother or not a mother, I hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.